You're listening to the Casting for Fun podcast, the show that talks about entertainment, sports, music, and inspirational stories for all to enjoy. We're glad you could join us today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, here is your host, Albert Pineda.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Casting for Fun podcast. I am your host, Albert Pineda, coming to you on Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. And it's a day early, but happy Patriot Day to all my fellow Americans. We never forget. We always remember the valiant sacrifices of the brave men and women on that fateful day. And we always remember and are grateful for the great privileges and freedoms that we have for living in the United States. So I hope everyone had a wonderful time celebrating the weekend of football, whether it's college, the NFL, both, any other sports going on. It's the awesome time of the year. It's the fall season. So like we do, annually, it's become an annual tradition here on the show. Stephen Cable, my sports correspondent, good friend of the show, comes on to talk sports. I know I had promised Tao Ho Ching to join us as well. Unfortunately, things don't always work out the way we would like to as far as podcasting goes. So we'll have to excuse Tao, but he was very apologetic, and hopefully we get to have him on again in the near future to talk sports, because he does seem he's very interested in doing that. Well, anyway, so Stephen and I dive into a number of really great topics: the NFL, college football. We touch on that amazing play of the year play from Ja'Kobe Lane for USC, one-handed catch, really awesome stuff. We talk about the Dodgers and the recent struggles they've been going through, but of course the bright spot of Clayton Kershaw. We go over the infamous crazy Karen Phillies lady situation and the fact that MLB teams, the Marlins and the Phillies, did right by that young boy. It's a very interesting, bizarre story and really funny too. So, but I'm glad everything worked out for that young boy. And yeah, we talk about that. And then of course we talk about the Cable's Cable Airport's annual celebration to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the operations of Cable Airport. So that's a really fun conversation with Stephen. So stay tuned for that. Really excited. Really quick though, I do want to just dive into a few things with that really awesome Bills and Ravens game to end Sunday Night Football. Unfortunately, Stephen and I weren't able to catch the whole game, so we mentioned that in the recording, but that ending was incredible.
Baltimore brings some pressure, and Allen throws. It's caught on the run. Coleman tripped up at the 9-yard line. Timeout, Ravens. Exactly.
Because if he had scored on that play, it would have given Baltimore and Lamar.
From 32 yards, Prater made it, and the Bills open their final season in this stadium with a stunning comeback win.
I did see an interesting stat that said the Bills are the very first NFL team to overcome a 15-point deficit in the final 4 minutes of the game and win in regulation. So it was incredible. If you're staying up watching the game, you caught a hell of a game. So unfortunately, we both missed it. I mean, doing our fatherly duties, making sure our kids are getting ready for bed and ready for school the next Monday. But you never know when you're going to get a banger of a NFL or college game. So you should definitely probably be watching as much as you can. So here we go. This is my conversation with Stephen Cable, chatting fall sports for 2025 here on the Casting for Fun podcast. Oh, and also to stay tuned for next week. I don't have definitive plans just yet, but I am planning to talk about 2 Nathan Fillion movies, assuming schedules work out. I'm planning to have Fernando on, my brother, friend of the show as well, to talk about the recent Superman movie, which Nathan Fillion is a part of. And then, of course, we are about to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the cult classic movie Serenity, also with Nathan Fillion. So if things go according to plan, I'm planning to do 2 episodes next week. It might just be 1, and I don't know which one's going to come first. I hope they can get 2. Well, I think the schedules work with Fernando. And then Serenity would probably be me flying solo. But stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to continue recording and give you some really fun episodes. Okay, well, that's enough of me rambling. Let's do some sports talk with Stephen Cable here on the Casting for Fun podcast.
I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a pin-found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound.
So welcome back to the show, Stephen Cable. Stephen, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm good, Albert. How are you?
Very good, thank you. I like that we can make this like an annual tradition that as we begin the fall sports season, to have you on to give your take on what's going on in the world of sports. This weekend was a very exciting and busy weekend for sports.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad to be here and excited to talk about it.
Both on the field and some extracurricular stuff that happened outside the field. We're gonna get to that because it's been all over the internet this weekend.
Yeah, it has.
But we'll have to excuse Tao Ho Ching. I know I had promised the listeners or advertised that he would be on. Unfortunately, he's feeling a little under the weather, but he does seem very excited about coming on in the future. So we'll definitely have Tao on some other time to talk sports. But
yeah, that sounds good. It'd be fun to talk with him.
Very cool. So, yeah, we're just going to be discussing the return of the NFL. College football's in full swing. The Dodgers are getting ready to wrap up their season. But again, we want to talk about some of the struggles they've been going through as a team. And then, of course, that wild story about the crazy Karen Phillies fan in Miami. I would definitely want to touch on that.
Let's do it.
And then, of course, I mean, you next weekend you have a big event for your family at Cable Airport, so we'll give you a chance to do a plug-in for that as well.
Sweet,
talk about that. But
yeah, that'd be fun.
All right, so let's start with the NFL. So football's back. We had a cool slate of games. You know, the Eagles hosting the Cowboys on opening night. The Chargers and Chiefs in Brazil on Friday, and then of course, just as we're recording, we just saw a thrilling Bills Baltimore matchup too. So, what stood out to you the most as far as the NFL opening weekend was concerned?
I guess how the Cowboys played against the Eagles. That was it was a really weird game because the first half, like it was back and forth. Both teams were scoring. It didn't seem like any defense could stop them. Then they came out after halftime, and the defenses were playing well, and then they had the big lightning storm delay, and it just made the game even weirder, and the Cowboys just hung with the Eagles the whole time. I actually thought the Cowboys outplayed the Eagles and just didn't capitalize on a few opportunities, and I thought that was probably the most interesting thing, the Eagles coming off their Super Bowl and the Cowboys playing the way they did.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual stat is, but sometimes the defending Super Bowl champs sometimes drop their first game of the season, right? I don't know if it's just the Super Bowl hangover or what's going on with that, but
I think it's a majority of returning champions lose that first game because that most of the time that's a banner night and they hang the banner and there's a lot of extra things their minds are on, and so I think it's probably we looked at the stats, you'd probably see that most champions lose that first opener the next season.
Yeah, I would imagine the visiting team definitely wants to come out and make a statement, say, "Hey, we can hang with the Super Bowl champs." I mean,
sure,
to get their season off the right foot. But
yeah, 100%, I think so. But yeah, that stood out to me. And then I didn't catch actually the Kansas City Chargers game. We were at a baseball game for Weston, so I didn't get to see that. But I heard it was a fun game to watch. And then I just got a bunch of notifications right now about tonight's game and the Bills and Ravens. So you'd have to tell me a little bit about what happened after that. I didn't see it.
Well, unfortunately, the Bills and Ravens, I wasn't able to catch myself. I mean, just getting kids ready here.
Yeah.
Usually Sunday night football is like my favorite time to catch, but I was able to catch the Friday night game. That was really exciting and fun for Liam and I, just to bond here. For the listeners who aren't aware, Allison and Avery were away for a Girl Scout camp, so like the weekend it was kind of just bacheloring it up with Liam.
Yeah, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, we had Buffalo Wild Wings. We just sat and watched the game. He was actually getting into it. It was kind of fun.
Oh, that's fun.
And yeah, but again, it was a really exciting game, and it was cool just as a casual Chargers fan to kind of see them hang tough with the Chiefs. Even though I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be as good this year as they were in previous years, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
it's funny that I think the Chiefs lost their opener last year, and everybody kind of came out and said the same thing. How good are the Chiefs going to be?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, until they prove us otherwise, it's still the Chiefs to beat, right? So,
yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Was there anything else that stood out from you from the NFL? I really wish I had caught that Bills Baltimore game, but
yeah, I mean, the only thing that would stand out to me is, I'm a Dolphins fan, and they got run today big time, and I'm not too sure how their season's going to go. So that was kind of disappointing. But other than that, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention today. But that Eagles Cowboys game, I watched quite a bit of that, and that game definitely stood out the most to me.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so let's switch gears and talk a little bit of college sports now. Particularly, we'll talk about the Trojans. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're a USC fan. We've talked about them many times here on the show. So it is interesting. This a year ago. I mean, I was actually re-listening to our conversation from a year ago, and we were really high on Miller Moss, right? But then,
Yeah.
unfortunately, he had kind of just a struggle of a season. He ended up entering the transfer portal. Now he plays for Louisville, right?
Yes, I think he's over there. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so they started. It was actually midway through the season, I believe, that they started the Jaden Maivia, the very first Polynesian to ever play quarterback for USC, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it might have even been a little bit sooner than midseason. I can't quite remember, but yeah, Jordan Maava took over, and he had his ups and downs last year. He played at UNLV the year before, and he was a transfer to USC. But this year, there's a lot of the hype around him having more than, or a little bit more than half a year under his belt at SC and being under the system. So he's played really well the first 2 years. And I was actually talking to Adam Iloilo today at church, and he was like, with all the Polynesians that have been through USC, it's kind of amazing that this is the first Polynesian quarterback to start at USC. So kind of a cool distinction for him. And as a USC fan, I've learned to be cautiously optimistic. So I'm trying not to get too hyped or too up on Jordan Maava yet, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I mean, he definitely had an amazing game this past weekend. I mean, for 142 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. I guess it was the record for passing yards for him, tied his record for touchdowns. And then one of the catches by the wide receiver Ja'Kobe Lane was just an incredible, like one-handed catch. Wow,
it was amazing. Yeah, that was fast. So it was kind of interesting because if you watch the series before, Georgia Southern went down and scored, and their wide receiver made a great catch as USC was committing pass interference on him. And it was actually pretty amazing that he caught the ball. And then SC gets the ball back and goes down, and Georgia Southern is hanging onto his one arm, and he just squeezes it with one hand and holds onto it. And I was just like, wow, that it could be the catch of the year in week 2. Like, yeah. I don't know if anybody else is going to have a better catch than that all season long, but
already more carries than he had in week 1. Maava back to the air, one-on-one lane. Oh, no. Chin with one hand. Ridiculous. Ja'Kobe Lane. Come on.
It was pretty fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then a buddy of mine actually was in attendance. He was at the college game yesterday, so that would have been pretty cool to have been there for that catch. But
yeah, it was a good game yesterday. You know, the thing is, SC played 2 teams that stink, right? They're not going to be anything. Mm-hmm. But in years past, USC would have not blown them out the way they blew them out these past 2 games. And SC they scored the most points in college football last week. They had over 700 yards of offense this week, which they haven't done since the year 2000. So there's a lot of positive things USC is doing, but we'll just have to see if they can carry that in as they face more difficult teams as they go forward.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking of the more difficult teams, so for the rest of college football, is there any team that's kind of stood out to you? I mean, I would imagine the victory, Ohio State beating Texas, would have been really big from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Ohio State's the team to beat. They're really good. So is Texas, really. I mean, Texas, it was Arch Manning's first start on the road, which is probably one of the most difficult places to start on the road in Ohio State. And I feel like, kind of like the Cowboys, Texas missed opportunities. They had the ball on the goal line for, I think it was 2 or 3 plays, didn't get it in, and then they missed another touchdown opportunity. And to only lose by 7, I feel like Texas was right there. So it was a good game, and I feel like those are the top 2 teams in the country. I haven't seen anything different in the first 2 weeks to tell me otherwise. Mm-hmm. But it's Ohio State and Texas right now until somebody shows us something different.
Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting, I guess, with the playoff system now. I mean, you can't count Texas out, even though I guess maybe
not at all. Yeah,
under the old BCS system, like if you lose a big game like that, you're almost kind of like hurting yourself the rest of the season, right?
Yeah, I mean, under the old system, they still wouldn't have been hurt that bad because they lost to a number 3 team. So, they wouldn't have, and it's not conference, wouldn't be a conference loss. So it wouldn't have held so bad, especially if that was their only loss. I still think they'd probably be in.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna roll throughout this year. And I mean they beat San Jose State yesterday pretty good. Not as bad as I thought they should have, but they still beat San Jose pretty bad yesterday. So
Oh, very cool. Was there anything else that stood out for you for college football?
um just a couple upsets yesterday. Florida lost to USF, South Florida, which was, I mean, I don't want to say it was surprising just because of where they're ranked, but it seems like Florida always kind of gets knocked off early. And then Arizona State's game yesterday against Mississippi State. Mississippi State scored on like a 50-yard touchdown pass with like 30 seconds left to take the lead and win. So that stood out to me. And then
When Arizona State was ranked number 12, right?
yeah, and I think Florida was ranked 13, so 12 and 13 went down. Michigan lost yesterday to Oklahoma, so Oklahoma looked. I can't tell if Michigan isn't that good this year or if Oklahoma's really good this year. That'll be interesting to watch to see if where that balances out. Is Michigan not going to be very good this year, or is Oklahoma going to be a pretty good football team? And then, of course, paying the most attention to USC, just what they've done this season so far. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic that it might be a different season. But before the season started, I was watching a couple podcasts, and I forget who it was, but this one guy said, he's like, I could see SC go 10-2 this year, but he's like, I also can see them go 5-7. So I was like, well, that doesn't help anything. They could go either direction. So, but I kind of feel like that too. Like you can see a path for them to go 10-2, but that you could just see them completely explode into their old selves and go 5-7. So we'll just have to take it a week by week and see how it goes for them. But I'm excited for the season.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. And then I know it's probably too early to tell, but again, I still always have to ask because of the friendly rivalry between you and Holly for USC and UCLA. Have you guys talked about it? Is there going to be a bet this year, or is you guys to wait and see how both teams do?
I would say with the way UCLA has started and with the way USC has started, there's not going to be a bet this year. I don't think Holly's going to take that. Both teams have looked the complete opposite of what UCLA just hasn't looked good at all, and USC's looked really sharp in everything they've done. So if you base it on the first two games, I don't think there's going to be a bet this year, but we'll see as we go down the road. You can't base everything off the first two games, but we'll see what happens. She's not too pumped about the way the season started, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry for Holly, but it should still be a lot of fun games going on all season long, which is the cool thing about both college football and the NFL. So
yeah, for sure, and it'll be fun.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and go to some Dodger talk now. So obviously the Dodgers we always love talking to Dodgers, even during the difficult bad times. And it was heartbreaking and frustrating to see him get swept by the Pirates. I mean, one of the worst teams in the league, and then finally pull off a win today against Baltimore. But yeah, it's been a struggle. But I guess the good news is the Padres have been struggling too, right?
That's the only saving grace. Is as bad as the Dodgers have been, the Padres have pretty much just been just as bad. So the Dodgers are still in first place in the division, but it's been frustrating to watch. So I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm. And it's got to also be heartbreaking, I guess, the Yamamoto game where he was really close to a no-hitter, and then of course, I mean, the team blows it, and like I guess it's like the first time in MLB history where a pitcher was like 8.5 innings in with no score, or no given up runs, but still lost the game, which is
that is the ultimate low right now. Last night, my sister texted me because I was watching USC. Mm-hmm. She's like, "You need to turn on the Dodger game," and I was like, "All right, I'll turn on." And she's like, "There's a no hitter going into the ninth," so I turned it on, and Yamamoto's warming up, and it was kind of funny. Weston was like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if like he got the first two outs really quick, and then like the next guy homered?" And I was like, "It's probably happened before, my man." I was like, "He's like, really?" Like I was like, "Yeah, it's happened." And sure enough, he got two quick outs, and then Holiday homered, and I just started like cracking up laughing. I was like, "How in the world did you call that?" Like he totally just like, I don't know. And then he felt bad, like it was his fault. And I was like, no, that's not your fault. That's just hilarious. And then I shut it off. I went back to the USC game because you only need one more out.
Mhm.
And then I get a notification that the Dodgers lost 4-3. And I was like, what just happened? And so I go back, and a guy that you would think can get that last out walks the bases loaded, walks a run in. And then they bring Tanner Scott in, who's been terrible lately, and he gives up a base hit, and the game was over just like that. And you're like, how is that possible? How did they score 4 runs with 2 outs? But they did, and that just kind of shows where the Dodgers are at right now.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think the team should do? And then that's down the home stretch. At least that's a few weeks of the season. Is there anything particular you would think you would focus on? I mean, true, just that's fun fan speculating. I mean, what we say doesn't really matter, but
I mean, honestly, so I saw this one thing. What they need is they need Max Muncy back in the lineup, 100%. So I saw this thing. It says the Dodgers with Max Muncy this season are 54-35, and without him, they're 24-28. So it's a totally different team without him in the lineup, and I think he is either activated today or tomorrow. So I don't know if he played today. Do you know if he played today?
I don't know actually.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look, but he's going to be activated soon, and I'm really interested to see if just him getting back in the lineup helps the team, like because their record is really different without him in the lineup. So maybe it's that simple. The bullpen's been struggling really bad. Especially Tanner Scott. So you stay away from him. I know Dave Roberts likes to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and keep getting them out there and keep seeing if they're going to snap out of their funk. But I don't know. I would just love to see what happens with Max Muncy back in the lineup, and then hopefully the Dodgers can shore up their bullpen. But they're making me nervous going down the stretch here. I'm not feeling as confident as I was last year.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely understandable. I totally agree. But one bright spot I would say would have to be the performance of Clayton Kershaw. I mean, just
I love it.
An amazing month of August, which is really great. It's great to see him performing the way he has because, I mean, last year in the playoffs, he was a non-factor. A lot of people were just kind of writing him off altogether. But then, great month of August. Today, he struck out 8, which I guess was a season high for him against.
Yeah.
So I think down the stretch, I think he'll be beneficial and vital to the team, which is great to see his veteran status hopefully go for at least one more before he calls it quits.
It's crazy because I remember before the season, the Dodgers were like, we're going to have 7 starting pitchers, probably a 6-man rotation. And everybody was saying when Clayton comes back, he might not make the postseason roster. Mm-hmm. And you look at him now, he's going to be a vital part going into the postseason. Mm-hmm. And it's wild to see what he's done at his age with all his injuries that he's had. To be 10-2 right now, it's one of the coolest things for me being a longtime Dodger fan and seeing Kershaw come up and watch his whole career. It's been really cool to see. And the only thing I can compare it to is because when he was younger, he had a 95-plus fastball, right? And now if he hits 90 on the gun, that's good for him. And so it reminds me of Greg Maddux. As Greg Maddux got older, he had to change his style of pitching and be more selective in his location. And you can see it in Kershaw. He's not trying to power guys. He's just trying to put the ball in the right spot and move it all around the zone. And it's amazing to see his transformation from that power type pitcher into this more technician type pitcher, which he's even said in interviews. He's like, I'm kind of learning on the fly here. He's like, I know my fastball is only 89 miles an hour. So he's like, I'm learning how to put it in different spots where these guys can't crank it. And it's fascinating, like how great he is to be able to do what he's done.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So on the subject of Kershaw, though, I do want to insert an audio clip here. This is I just found it randomly as I was Google searching Kershaw's name. This came up. So apparently Phillies GM Preston Mattingly, who's the son of former Dodger coach and MLB player, Don Mattingly. Crazy to think that he's the GM of the Phillies at his age, only like 37, the same age as Kershaw.
Yeah, I think he was in the Dodgers front office when Don Mattingly was with the Dodgers. If I remember right, I think he was either in the Dodgers organization as a player or he was in the front office. I can't remember, but He was with Don at that time, but I didn't actually know he was the GM of the Phillies.
Yeah, I just found that out today too. Just
yeah, that's crazy.
Searching it, and I saw an interview clip that he did where he was just talking about the fact that hey, he's a GM for the Phillies, obviously a fan of the organization because it's what he works for. But he's specifically saying that hey, when it comes to the postseason, he doesn't want the Phillies to have to face Kershaw. So
yeah,
go ahead and insert this audio clip. It's pretty interesting.
Get you out of here on this, and I didn't, this kind of just came to me. So talking to you today. Your old minor league roommate, Clayton Kershaw, went 5-0, I think, with a 1.80 ERA or 1.9 ERA in August. I was at the All-Star game, and I thought that was one of the cooler moments with him being mic'd up and then the ovation that he got. He's still getting it done at age 37. Have you talked to him at all lately, number one? And two, are you kind of emotionally prepared for the possibility that you guys might face him in a playoff game in October and what that might be like for you, because I'm sure you guys are still close and you knew each other way back when.
Yeah, honestly, anything Clayton does doesn't surprise me. Obviously, the competitor that he is, the work ethic, he's going to just he's going to find a way to keep getting people out. We'll text here and there throughout the season. I try not to bug him. Obviously, I know how busy he is and how hard he works at his craft, so I try not to bug him throughout the year. And look, if we would have to match up in the playoffs, that may be the one time I'm not pulling for him. So. It'd be exciting to sit up in the suite and watch him, and hopefully the Phillies come out on top.
Yeah, he was saying at the All-Star game, because he was the commissioner's pick and whatever, and he was like, well, this might be the last one. I don't know if I even merit being here. And I think he shortchanged himself because the August he had, where would the Dodgers be, right, without him and what he's doing for them. So that would be a lot of fun to see, and I'm sure you guys would have a lot of fun with that as well. So, Preston, this was.
Yeah, I like what Preston Mattingly had said, that Kershaw just finds a way to get guys out. It's just kind of the way you described it as well, just finding the right spots in the zone. Not so much overpowering guys, but just systematically catching them off guard, right?
Yeah, it's just. He's been the ultimate competitor his whole career, right? Everybody talks about his preparation and his routine. Dave talks about it. All the coaches talk about it. You heard Preston bring it up there. He didn't even want to text him too much because he knows the type of preparation and the routine that Clayton Kershaw's in. And I think it just shows how much he cares about winning. And when you care about when you care about winning that much and you're that talented and you're able to come to the grips with you're not the same pitcher as you were, I think if you're able to handle all that, you can do what he's doing right now. And to be 10-2 and have the 5-0 August with the 1.8 ERA at his age, and it's amazing. It's so cool for him to come off his surgeries that he had for him to be doing what he is right now. And I remember Kershaw saying he doesn't feel like he should have been an all-star. But even in the all-star game, he struck out he struck out one of the guys that he faced. I think he faced two batters. But he 100% should have been there, right? He was He was not voted on anybody, but it was the commissioner's pick. And I don't think any other guy in any of those dugouts in the All-Star games didn't think that Clayton Kershaw should be there. So I'm excited to see what he brings as we go into the playoffs. Hopefully he can keep it up and not have those playoff breakdowns that he's had in the past. So we'll see. I'm excited, and I've really enjoyed watching Kershaw pitch these last couple months.
Oh, yeah, me too. I definitely want to see him back on the field. To exercise those demons as it works. I'm sure that series against Houston must have been very detrimental or hurtful to him. So to see him back out there and, like you said, just go out there and just contribute to the team, because I know he's a competitor and he definitely wants to. So
right, I would even say when he came back, I was nervous every start. Right, I didn't know how he would perform and would this be a day that the Dodgers wouldn't win. But now it's gotten to the point where I see Kershaw is going to pitch. I'm like, that's a day we can stop our streak now, right? That's a day he can stop the bleeding. And that's old Kershaw, where when his name came up, if we were on a losing streak, you felt good about that losing streak stopping. And when I saw that he was pitching today, I was like, all right, yeah, the Dodgers can win today. Kershaw's been that good where I feel like they're going to stop this 5-game losing streak. And sure enough, he pitched well enough, and the Dodgers hit a little bit better than they've been hitting, and they finally snapped that streak. So he's been great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely want to see him build on that momentum and avoid those losing streaks. Just get us some winning streaks as we go into October. So
for sure.
But okay, so sticking with the Phillies for a little bit, let's talk about this story.
All right.
This is like one of the most bizarre, weirdest things I've ever seen, and one of like the funniest too, for the aftermath of what's happened. So, Steven, can you let the listeners in on this situation with this crazy Karen Phillies fan?
Yeah, sure. So I saw this last night. So a Phillies player, they're playing in Miami. Phillies player hits a home run to left, and there's a few empty seats out there, and there's a Phillies fan, a ladies Phillies fan, and it looks like maybe what her significant other is next to her, and he's wearing a Marlins shirt, and it looks like the ball lands in the row in front of him, and it bounces around, and a guy from maybe like 10 seats to their left coming down the aisle, and he just picks it up before them, and he walks back down the row to his son, puts it in his son's glove, and gives his son a hug. And she jumps down and like grabs his arm and starts yelling at him.
Sometimes you need that reset. Oh.
And Bader just unloads on this one. Deep left field, and that one is gone as Bader goes back-to-back with Brandon. What a long home run to left for Harrison Bader. It's his 15th of the year and his third since joining the Phillies. It's 5-1.
And I've seen different angles of this with people with cell phone cameras on Instagram, and she was yelling that he grabbed her ball, that he grabbed it out of her hand, but you can clearly see it was never in her hand. He reached down into the seats and grabbed it, and she was just berating him in front of his family, and he finally, instead of escalating the situation, just gave her the ball, and she went and sat down. And a few moments later, a Marlins representative came up with a goodie bag for the kid, and then you see in that shot that the kid, the parents say his birthday's in a couple of days, so we're here celebrating his birthday.
So we brought you a cool little goodie bag. Happy birthday. Whatever, you don't have to give birthday. You okay? All right. Happy birthday. Isn't that your birthday yet?
Couple days.
Oh, okay.
Couple days.
Then come to find out after the game, the guy that hit the homer found out about this situation and invited the family down to the clubhouse, and he signed a bat and a ball for the kid.
Sorry you didn't get a ball, but I'm going to sign a bat for you instead, all right?
And this lady is like the ultimate definition of a Karen, in my opinion. Like complete, like if you want to define Karen, like her picture's in the dictionary for that. For her to think that was her ball just because it landed in the row in front of him is completely absurd to me. Everybody knows that if a ball lands, it's the first person to grab it, right? Like that's always been kind of the unwritten rule in the stands. And I don't know where she got off thinking that this was her ball and that she had a right to it. It was pretty wild to watch and really embarrassing for her. Like, hopefully she feels embarrassed about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So Steven, I was kind of curious from your experiences, all the games that you've gone to, both
Sure.
like pro games, so the Dodgers, and then minor league games like the Quakes. Has there ever been a home run or a foul ball ever get close to you? Have you ever been in that position where you possibly could have gotten the ball?
Yeah. So I've actually gotten 2 foul balls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
One was kind of like the same situation. We were on the field level at Dodger Stadium on the third base side, and a line drive was kind of going over our heads. And we turned around and it hit off the ribbon board and it bounced back to us. But then it went off my dad's hands as it went back to us. But then this one guy that was a couple rows ahead of us wasn't paying attention, and it bounced off his back and came right back to us, and it landed in the row in front of us. And we reached down and grabbed it. And so I was like, right, like that guy doesn't deserve the ball because it hit him. Like we were the first ones to touch it. Mm-hmm. And then there was another situation where we were sitting out in the pavilion. I wish Tao was on for this now that you brought this up, because he was at the game with us. It was a bunch of us Upland First Award guys before you were in the ward that went to the game. And since we were out in the pavilion, I took my glove, and Jock Peterson was playing center field. And you know how they warm up every inning and they throw ball back to each other, and every once in a while they'll throw the ball up in the stands.
Oh yeah.
Well, just before the inning starts, and he turned around and faced us. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna throw it up here!" And he threw it, but it was going over my head. I could tell it was gonna go over my head, and so I just took one step back up onto the bench. So I stood up on the bench and I snagged it, and the people behind me were furious. They're like, "You can't stand on the bench. You can't." And I was like, "Why not? Like, there's no rules out here saying I can't stand on the bench. Like, I caught the ball."
Mm-hmm.
And so people do get upset about that kind of stuff, but it's always just first person to the ball gets the ball. And so I don't know, it's just really embarrassing for that lady. I don't know what the heck that was, but
Well, that's still a really cool experience for you that you actually got to catch a ball, have a player throw into you, or I guess not specifically to you, but
yeah,
get it. But
so it's actually pretty cool after that. So I caught the ball from Jock Peterson, and my sister went to spring training the next year, and I was like, "Hey, take my ball with you, and if you see Jock Peterson, see if he signs it." She met him and she got it signed, and so I have the ball on my desk with the date that I caught it and with the date that he signed it. And so it's kind of a little cool piece of memorabilia I have that.
Oh, that's really cool.
That, Jock isn't a huge player, but he was one of my favorite Dodgers, and so to get that and to have that ball signed is kind of cool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So, but from my experience, I've never really been close at all, ever close enough that I could have potentially gotten it. But you're right in that there's the unwritten or unspoken rule that whoever gets it first, I mean, obviously don't snag it from someone's hand who has it in their possession.
Right.
And of course, if it's presented to a child, I mean, don't take it from a child. Oh my
right.
God.
Right. Like that's even the next step, right? Like this dad gave it to his kid. It's not like he kept it for himself. So for this lady to go over there and be like, "No, that's my ball," and wanting to take it from a kid, like, just I don't want to say she's a terrible human being, but she's kind of close.
Yeah, I was gonna, because I mean, I don't condone online harassment to people, especially for this who's probably getting millions of harassment things from people. But that being said, though, I mean, the memes people have come up against this lady are so funny. Oh my!
So I saw a post, and I haven't verified it yet, but it sounds like she was a school teacher and she got fired this weekend after what she displayed at this baseball game. And so the school told her "Yeah, we don't need you to come back on Monday."
Oh my gosh! Wow.
But so if that's true, I think it kind of just shows her character, and maybe the school was looking for a way to get out from her. I don't know, but if she really did get fired, it's such an embarrassment on her part, especially with how many people reached out to this kid, and then for her to be publicly humiliated by everybody else. It's her bad, but it's pretty embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, some of my favorite memes have been the fact that I think so people have posted the locker room picture where Phillies player Harrison Bader is the one who actually hit
he hit the home run. Yeah.
Oh, so he invites the family in. He's signing the bat for the kid. And anyway, somebody photoshopped that lady into the picture where she's claiming, "Oh, that bat's mine too."
I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
That's funny. And then I seen one where it's a side-by-side comparison picture of her with the ball and Gollum from Lord of the Rings with the one ring. There's been so many fun things. Even one that I just saw just a few minutes ago before we hopped on to record. It's her with the CEO from the Kiss Cam Coldplay concert. Being caught on camera.
So I saw today the Bananas were playing in San Diego, and if you know anything about the Bananas, they have what's called the Mananas, which are their male cheerleaders. Okay. And so one of the Bananas in between innings kind of throws the ball up to one of them up in the stands, and he catches it and he takes it to another Banana and he gives it to him and he hugs him kind of like the dad did. And then this other guy comes over and he just totally reenact it completely, where he's yelling at him and stuff. And I'm like, that is funny that the day after the Bananas are "Yep, we're using that." And so they just totally reenacted the whole scene. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, the moral of the story, I guess, for people, I mean, just watch this lady and just do better. I mean, be better, do be a better person. It worked out great for the kid. In fact, all this cool swag he got that he got to meet Harrison Bader. And my understanding is the family's been invited to go to a World Series game, right?
Yeah, so I was talking to Holly last night about this. Is that could have easily ruined baseball for this kid,
Mhm.
right? Like this lady could have easily ruined the game completely for him. Could have just he never wanted to go back to a game. Probably never wanted to play baseball again. You never know, right?
Mhm.
But both the Marlins and the Phillies stepped in to make that situation right. Like the Marlins were like, "Nope, we're gonna make this right," and then the Phillies were like, "Nope, we're gonna make this right." And now this kid still has a love for the game, right? And I think that's probably what's most important is they save this kid's love for baseball. And so, yeah, as adults, you just have to be better than that. It's a kid's game, really. Like these kids deserve a ball, right? If nowadays, if I caught one, like the ball's going to my boys, right? Like I'm not going to keep a ball.
Yeah.
But and if I'm not there with my kids, like if there's a little kid around, well, no, I'd still probably bring it home to the boys. No, I'll take that back. I probably wouldn't give it to another little kid because I'm gonna bring it back to my boys. So, like it's a baseball, right? Like it's a $5 baseball that you can go buy at the store. Like really, like what are you gonna do with it as an adult? So
Yeah.
it's silly.
It absolutely is. But so hopefully this lady learned her lesson and she's a better person for it. But
Hopefully, man.
not, but
Yeah, I'm thinking that's just been her whole life. So I don't know if that's gonna change anything, but
Mhm.
yeah, just a really weird situation, and it's good to see that people took care of that family. And you mentioned him going to the World Series. Some I forget who it was, but some big CEO like was like, "Give me their contact information. I'm going to pay for this family to go to the World Series." I'm
Mhm.
like, man. So not only did they get a goodie bag, then they get the signed bat and the ball. Like they're going to get to go to the World Series all because this lady was crazy. So hey, works out for them.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out. I mean, obviously, I would watch the World Series anyways, but I mean, I'm sure they'll probably show the family on the screen and just we talk about this whole incident too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It will totally come back up again, which is sad for the lady, right? This is something that's probably not going to go away for a while. So she's going to have to relive it for a while. And I really do hope she's embarrassed and feels bad about it. And I feel like if she was more of a stand up person, like she would come out with a statement and be like, you know what, I messed up. I'm sorry. I want to apologize. But if I have any idea what type of person she is, I don't think we're going to hear from her.
Yeah, I mean, either apologize or just like hide yourself for the rest of your life. So.
Right. Right.
But oh, very cool. So yeah, one more topic I wanted to discuss with you now.
Yeah.
Cable Airport, very cool that the airport celebrating, your family is celebrating its 80th anniversary, right?
Yeah.
80th anniversary of operations. So you have a really cool event planned for next weekend. Let's do a plug in for you. I mean, I know my reach on my podcast isn't super big, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to support you and your family. And my family is absolutely looking forward to going to the festivities next Saturday.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, my great grandfather started the airport in 1945, like we've talked about on the podcast before, and this year marks 80 years of it being in business. And we used to have air shows every year, but our last one was in 2017. And the main reason they stopped is regulations from the FAA have gotten tighter for air shows, and there's a lot more residents around the airport, and so it just made it difficult to actually have an air show. So we kind of stopped doing that, but when the 80th was coming, we knew we wanted to do something, right? We wanted to have some kind of event to commemorate that day. So we're going to have an open house. It's completely free to the public. There's going to be a bunch of static display airplanes. There's going to be a car show, kids zone. There will be airplanes flying throughout the day, different types of airplanes all through the years. There'll be food vendors and other kind of vendors there. Upland Police Department's going to have their SWAT vehicle out. The San Bernardino County Fire Department's going to have their fire truck out.
Oh, wait, so both police and the fire department are going to be there?
Yeah, they'll both be there showing off their
Ian's
stuff.
gonna be in
Yeah,
heaven.
they're gonna be right next to each other. We were gonna have the Ontario Police Department helicopter out there, but they just actually emailed me on Friday and said they have staffing issues now that weekend, so they don't have enough people to have that out. But they're still probably gonna make a couple passes throughout the day. Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of cool things. From 10 to 4. come anytime during those hours, and just kind of check out what's there. There's going to be airplane rides too. It's $60 for just one airplane ride. So I think it's 3 people can fit in an airplane. So $60 for 3 people. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things happening, and kind of something to see for everybody. So it'll be cool. Just come on out and check it out. And we're just celebrating being in business for 80 years.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. Yeah, that sounds amazing. It's going to be a really awesome, fun time. And definitely, I would recommend anyone listening, if you weren't planning to go, you definitely should check it out. It's going to be a really awesome, fun weekend for the whole family. So,
yeah, it should be good. I think everybody would enjoy seeing something, and it will be fun.
Very cool. So, in the 80 years of operations, is there anything that stands out to you personally? I mean, obviously, you haven't been there for 80 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for your family, what's maybe been the most memorable, or like the thing that stands out to you the most for operating Cable Airport there in Upland for 80 years now?
I don't know if it's specifically to the airport, but I took a business class when I went to Citrus for a little bit, and we covered a section on family business, and it talked about how family businesses, will thrive in the generation that started it. And then the second generation will usually carry that and usually make it more successful as they have different ideas. But once it gets to the third generation, they sell like 50% of the time. And then by the fourth generation, it's like only 10% of those businesses stay open, right? Because generations afterwards, it wasn't their baby, right? They didn't start it. And so they just look to take the money from the business, right? And so they sell it off. And so it's really cool that we're in our fourth generation and we're still completely thriving. There's no talk of selling the airport. And now the fifth generation's now starting to come around the airport. Weston loves to help out at these events. He helped out at the 4th of July event that we had. And so our boys talk about being at the airport as they get older. And I think it's just really cool that we don't have that threat of selling, right? That the airport's going to still thrive. And Weston the other day was like, what are we going to do when we hit 100? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, we'll see. Like, you'll be a part of that decision. So I think it's awesome that fifth generation now is like, yeah, what are we going to do when we get to this point? So I think that's really cool, is that this is something that's really rare, right? Not only are we a private airport that's super rare, you don't see that, but it's rare to see a family business carry on through so many generations.
Oh, that's amazing to think that when the airport hits 100, Weston will be 31, right?
Yes.
31
Yeah, he will.
Among those making the decisions, right? So that's awesome and cool. Something for you and Tanner as well to eventually look forward to. So
yeah, for sure. And so, and then just other memories, I just growing up on the airport, right? Like I was around it all the time. And so it was just normal life for me. And it's been normal life for me. And when I tell people my family owns an airport, they're like fascinated by it. And when I was younger, it blew me away. It was like, well, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just a family business. But it was kind of when I married Holly, she's like, no, this is a big deal. People don't have this, right? Like this isn't a normal family business. Mm-hmm. And so I realize, when I talk about it now is, it is a big deal, right? Like airports are becoming fewer and farther in between of existing because counties and cities sell them off because of the land prices. And so it is unique, and it is fun. And I've enjoyed being a part of it and growing up on the airport. And it's just been a big part of my life, and I've loved being a part of it.
Oh, awesome. That sounds really cool, Steven. So thank you for sharing your experience with the airport, and thanks for the invite. And I'm very excited to get to plug you in, and hopefully we get a good number of turnout. I suspect you're going to get a good number of people there, right?
Yeah, I hope so. It sounds like it's hard to tell without pre-selling tickets, right? Like a lot of our events, we pre-sell tickets, and we'll have a good idea about how many people are coming. But with it being a free event, like we have no idea what the attendance is going to be. We do have a good feeling that there's going to be a lot of pilots flying in. We've heard a lot from other airports where there's pilot groups flying in. So it might be a really heavy flying day, at the very least, it's going to be a big day for the pilots. But hopefully for the general public, we have a lot of people come out as well. So either way, it's going to be a success for us. You know, if it's a big pilot day and not a big general public day, at least it's a fun day for the pilots to come out and celebrate general aviation and be at the airport. So.
Oh, awesome. Well, very cool, Steven. Thank you for your time. And anything else sports related or about the airport that we should touch on, or?
No, I don't think so. This has been a great discussion tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to a really awesome season of both college and NFL football. Hoping the Dodgers make a good run again. And for people listening, I mean, you probably heard the story. I mean, don't be like the Karen again. Get the ball back to the kid.
That's right. Don't be a Karen. Let the kid have the ball.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and then make it to Cable Airport this weekend. It's going to be a really awesome, fun time.
Yes, sir. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Steven, and thank you to the listeners, and hope everyone has a wonderful night. You've been listening to the Casting for Fun podcast.